As far as a lot of people ask me about heat pads, and this is what I'll tell you. I'm not a heat lamp person, never have been. Absolutely hate them. I feel like hedgehogs can have a heat stroke sitting underneath of them. But what I like instead is to warm the bedding from below. Hey, Ben, come here. Can you come here for a second? So what I instruct people to do is, this is an 11-inch by 16-inch heat pad. I buy 100 from China, and I've been back ordered since Christmas time, and I'm waiting to receive them. But I like these 20 watt. It's an 11 by 16 inch. I'm going to hand this video to you for a second. And what I just want to give a really clear instructional video. And this is how I like to do it. I like to use this on this, and here's my feeling. This is why. This is a plastic. The bottom of these habitats are waterproof, but it feels like it's a plastic. I don't like the plastic on plastic because I think that could feel like we're creating a hot spot. But instead, if I put a towel on it, it kind of dissipates the heat, right? I'm going to slide it underneath here. I'm going to kind of go in the middle of this habitat. So this habitat heater is going to warm this bedding really nice and warm to the touch. All of this ends up creating a nice warm feel. Here are my instructions on this. And as they are made in China, there's a little turn dial right here, right? Is it visible that we can see it? So I'm going to let you listen for a sec. Here it click off, and then it clicks on. And so I say, click it off, make sure it's off. And then when we turn on, click it on and turn maybe a quarter of a turn. We're going to wait 15 minutes while your kiddo or while somebody's playing with the hedgehog. Come back in 15 minutes, push the bedding aside, put your hand right down on the bottom. And what I want you to do is I want you to feel, if your hedgehog was to move the bedding and lay right down on it, has it created a hot spot, or does it feel okay? The towel is nice because it dissipates the heat really evenly, but we want it to feel warm and not hot. So once I can put my hand down here and I go, yep, that feels nice, it's warm, and the bedding starts to feel warm, I can wait 15 more minutes, do 1 second test, and if it all feels good, put your hedgehog in there. If we do that test and we go, you know what, I'm not really feeling it, then go a little bit warmer on it, cover it up, wait 15 minutes and do a second test. I just don't want you to like turn it on and whip this thing up on high and put it in there. And meanwhile, this is so hot, your hedgehog can't use his cage. So we got to really make sure that this is set to the right temperature before we set it and forget it. One last thing about that. I was contacted by a family that had their hedgehog that was kind of hiding out in the litter bin for several days. And she had texted me and asked me if it was normal for a hedgehog to not want to leave the litter box for 2 days. And I said, nope, that's not normal. So I kind of went through this whole test with her over the phone that said, how does the bedding feel, and does is the cage too hot? And she realized that her grandkid that was over a couple of days ago messed around with this and turned it, and so now it was off. So once we get this set at the right temperature, what I say is then now we can take and we can plug it in from the back and let the tail hang off the backside so that kids aren't messing with this dial, or put a piece of tape on it so that it holds it in a secure position. But every once in a while, I want you to just stick your hand in here, go like this, and feel the bedding and see how it feels and make sure that it feels nice and warm. Did you want to add to that?
Yeah, you could actually take, and once you set your temperature, put a white dot here, a white dot there.
Then you kind of know that they're lined up.
That it's lined up. Yeah.
So these, while there's just a little bit of fussing with them to get them to the right spot, we've had them underneath of our habitats for years. They've worked great. It's actually just as important in the summertime when people have their air conditioning on than in the wintertime when it's colder outside. So these work great year round. Thank you so much for watching. Text me if you have any questions. Bye.
Bye.